Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor, the members of the Governing Council of the University, students, faculty, and guests. First of all, I'm very, very grateful to the Chancellor and the Vice Chancellor of this university for their kindness in bestowing the honorary degree on me. I am very grateful to them for their kindness, their courtesy, and their generosity. I would like to say that I would, in the future, work harder and hopefully smarter to deserve this kindness, this generosity, and this courtesy. I would also like to congratulate the founder couple and their children, as well as the Vice Chancellor, the Registrar, and others on an extraordinary journey they have started in enhancing the educational strength of India. For the first time in the last 300 years, this generation of Indians have received some respect and some recognition from the world at large. India occupies the high table in several fora. There's a lot expected from India. The country has been growing pretty admirably in the last decade or so. Therefore, at this point of time, it is extremely important that we strengthen the educational foundation of the country. We need to build lots of power plants, thousands of kilometers of roads, many airports, many ports, many factories, and you name it. Therefore, for a country like India to consolidate on the wonderful progress that the country has been making, the need of the day is to create engineers who can add value to the country. That's exactly what the VelTech University is doing, and therefore all of us must be grateful to them. While doing this extraordinary stuff, I have no doubt at all that they realize the importance of creating good quality engineers. As McKinsey consulting company has published, hardly 25% of Indian engineering graduates or employable. In other words, their ability to use all the theoretical knowledge they learn in the class and solve problems in the real world around them once they leave the portals of this institution, or for that matter any institution, is suspect. So therefore the challenge that the Vice Chancellor and his people have before them is very clear, and that is, how do we make sure that our youngsters understand the basics of what they are taught in the classroom? How do we make sure that our youngsters use this theory to understand the phenomena in real life around us? And how do we make sure they indeed use all the knowledge that is important in the classroom to solve problems and make the country stronger? While your teachers can do a lot to help you in this task, remember that they can only do so much. They can take a horse to the water, but they cannot make the horse drink that water. Therefore, the responsibility of becoming worthy engineers falls on the shoulders of the wonderful youngsters that I see in front of me. You have an extraordinary opportunity to consolidate on the wonderful gains the country has made. I did not have, I don't think Dr. Rangarajan had when he was your age, but you people have. Therefore, that opportunity translates to a tremendous sense of responsibility. And if you want to discharge that sense of responsibility, it requires you youngsters to work hard, to work smart, to be disciplined, to be determined, to have high aspirations, and make extraordinary things happen. If you people did not do it, I'm afraid that you would regret it, because such an extraordinary time is unlikely to come to India once again in the near future. Therefore, let me close by once again thanking Professor and Mrs. Rangarajan and other dignitaries on the dais for their kindness, their generosity and courtesy extended to me. And once again reminding you, the youngsters, that the country expects a lot from every one of you, and that the only way you can meet these expectations is through hard work, commitment, discipline, determination and aspiration. Thank you very much.
Vice Chancellor and Chancellor of RR and SR University, Board of Management and Trustees, distinguished people on dais, teachers, ladies and gentlemen, my dear students. When I was a little girl, I used to ask my father was a doctor, tell me something which is a nice story, which I should remember. He told me that when he was young, there was a poor man who used to stay in the compound of the doctor's quarters, and my mother used to feed him every day. He was an old man, he did not have anybody. Every day morning he will get up, he will go to the roadside and he will plant neem trees and come back and have dinner and sleep. I said, it's not a big story, it's a very simple story. What is great in that? An old man goes to plant a neem tree and comes back and sleeps, and my mother feeds. He said, beta, you have not understood behind that. The old man did not have anybody, and he did a fantastic job. A place like North Karnataka, which is very warm like Tamil Nadu, a shade is very important, a tree's shade is very important. An old man who did not have anybody thought it is better to plant a neem tree and mango tree so that it is useful. I told, what a foolish fellow. He was already old. Even though he plants mango tree and neem tree, he will not be able to eat mangoes. He will not be rest below the shade of a tree, neem tree. He said, that's what you think. A truly philanthropic person does the work not because he or she should enjoy, someone else should enjoy. That is the reason I want to tell you this. A fantastic story. If you travel a particular village, my father told me where he stayed, if you see any mango tree and a neem tree on the roadside, think of the old man whose name nobody remembers today and who did a great work, a philanthropic work for others. He might not have got any award the way other people get, but he has done a great job. It was my first lesson when I was a kid. If you want to help others, never think of the award or reason. Do it because others should enjoy. That later part of my life when I grew up, I learned this in Mahabharata. A shloka says, what is the essence of life? Is intelligence? Is money? Is honor? Is health? What is the most important thing in life? He says, nothing is, those are all important, but not the most important. Paropakaram idam shariram. Paropakaram, he says, the rivers, paropakaram vahanti nadyaha, paropakaram falamti rukshaha, paropakaram dugdhanti gayaha, paropakaram idam shariram. No tree eats the fruit of its own tree. No mango tree eats the fruit of its own tree. No cow drinks her own milk. No river drinks her own water. She flows for others. So, as a human being, your life should be dedicated for the betterment of the society. Not that I will have a diamond earring, my daughter will have a diamond earring, my great-granddaughter will have. That is only a samsara. More than samsara is paropakaram idam shariram. Whatever makeup you do, whatever dress you wear, whatever flower you wear, you don't look beautiful if you do not have education. Our ancestors say, whatever you do, Keyu Rana Vibhushayanti Purusham, Harana Chandrojwala, Nasnanam na Vilepanam na Kusumam, Salankrita Murdhvaja. He says, you make beautiful hairdo, wear great flowers, wear a silk sari, have a lot of gold, jewelry, everything. But if you do not have education, there is absolutely no charm on your face. So it says, Vag Bhushanam Bhushanam. The Bhushana for a man or a woman, it is not meant not for a woman, it is meant for men also. It is not what you possess in life, what education you have, that makes you very confident, very bold, in a proper way, and the best tool in life to go ahead. Dr. Rangarajan and Srimati Shakuntala Rangarajan have built this a great institution because they have only 3 daughters. Not that 3 daughters have to be educated here. There are 1,000 daughters here. They should be educated. Please remember, they have led a life. Paropakaram idam shariram. Paropakaram vahanti nadyaha. Paropakaram dugdhanti gavaha paropakaram phalanti rukshaha. Please understand, their sacrifice is helping thousands of girls. And why they have done this? Because you girls and your students, boys both, should get a right kind of education. Right kind of education and become bold in life, not only with money. To some extent money is needed in life to buy a house, to have medical facilities, to lead a normal life you require money. Everybody cannot become Bhagavan Buddha. We are all normal people. We do require, but there is a limitation of money. Nobody can eat a golden rice. We have to eat only a normal rice. What sacrifices they have made so that you have a better life. Great people are those, they sacrifice that the next generation should be better than them. And I really congratulate the couple and their children. They have given such an opportunity to the next generation. Please understand that. And all children, I will tell you, when you finish your degree, you go outside in the market, you do not have a syllabus. You do not have a teacher. Your syllabus is, every day there is an examination. There is no semester system. Every hour is an examination. When you go out in life, you should be well equipped with education, communication, good values of life. Then only you can fight the situation. It is the marks alone will not help. It is the connection alone will not help. It is the money will not help. If you are confident and you can tackle any difficult situation, and given set of circumstances, if you do your level best, then you are a rank holder. Please remember, every day is an examination. Every day there is a fight. When you go for the examination, you should be prepared. So, you should be prepared with courage, confidence, compassion, and good communication. And those things you can get only in college like here, where you have all the facility. Please make use of all this facility. Bring glory to your parents, to your family, and the alma mater which has done so much. The kind of fees you give, the kind of money they spend is never equal. It's much more than that. Their sacrifices should be remembered, and you should lead a life like them when they grow up. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to express my ideas, and also an award which I really do not think I deserve it. But thank you once again for your kindness. Jai Hind.
Winners of the scholarships and guests. This is not a time for words. This is a time for celebrating the action of Professor Rangaraj. This is all about how an individual who is altruistic, an individual who is bothered about the society, an individual who is bothered about those who are not in a position to stand on their own, have to be helped. Therefore, I congratulate Professor Rangarajan and every other member of his family, as well as everybody else connected with this university for this extraordinary and munificent gesture. As my wife said earlier, education is extremely important, and being able to do something without expecting anything in return is even more important. This is an act of such generosity, and therefore we all should applaud what this institution has done, what this Professor Rangarajan has done. All that I would say is, remember that the best way you can pay tribute to Professor Rangarajan is only through your contributing to somebody else's betterment, somebody else's education in a bigger way. That is the best respect, best tribute we can pay to him. Therefore, when every one of you is successful, please remember that there was somebody behind you, somebody who helped you to reach your goal, and therefore you have to help at least two people to reach their goal. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Niteshri from EC department. I would like to ask you a question. What would you think is your greatest contribution and achievement in your life to become a leading expert in India?
I don't think I have ever thought about things in that fashion. Please.
Thank you.
It's very, very important to be humble about whatever little you have done. Therefore, I don't think I've ever thought in terms of great contribution. All that I can say is, I have demonstrated that it is possible to run businesses legally and ethically in this country. It is possible to compare with the best company in the world in different dimensions and emulate, and in some cases do better. I have also demonstrated that it is possible for a company to follow the finest principles of corporate governance. So these are some of the lessons that I have learned and have demonstrated.
Thank you, sir. The next question from a boy.
Kai Sharma from Triple department, and I would like to pose a question on in the view of developing India, a modern India. What would you prefer, sir? To give a chance for a young entrepreneurship, or to eradicate poverty, or to trust the technology, sir?
Well, I think pretty early, about 40 years ago, I realized that the only way societies can solve the problem of poverty is through creation of jobs with good income. And the only way that can happen is through entrepreneurship. So without exception, every society that has become a developed nation has become so only through encouraging entrepreneurship. However, if you want to create a lot of entrepreneurs, then you need good education infrastructure. So therefore, I think if a country wants to become a developed nation, if a country wants to solve the problem of poverty, it should embrace good quality higher education and it should encourage entrepreneurs. That's what
I'm Zeke from EC department, and I'd like to ask you a question. When compared to your days, now we can see that it's even more difficult to start our own company. So I would request you to give any suggestions or tips on for those who are willing to start a company in this present difficult world.
Well, it's not true that it is more difficult to start a company today compared to the 70s and 80s, because those days no bank would give you any loan. There was no venture capital system. In the country, there was a feeling that the best thing you can do is to take up a job with the government. On the other hand, today, there are lots of venture capitalists. Banks are willing to give loans. The state governments are encouraging entrepreneurship. And people don't look down upon entrepreneurs. So
therefore, it is in some way better today than what it was earlier. Having said that, if you want to succeed as an entrepreneur, you have to have an idea whose business value to the market, either companies or individuals who make up the market. That business value must be expressible in a simple sentence. Not a compound sentence, not a complex sentence. No ifs, buts, nevertheless. In other words, the idea has to say, this idea will do what the existing products are doing cheaper, or this idea will reduce the cycle time more than the existing products, or this idea will bring more comfort to people than the existing products. One. Second, the market must be ready for the idea. Unless the market is ready, I don't think the idea will succeed. Because at the end of the day, only when somebody is willing to pay you money and buy your product, then your product is worthwhile. Otherwise, the product has zero value. So therefore, the market must be ready. Third, you must bring together a team that has mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive set of skills, expertise and experience. What that means is you have to bring together people who understand technology, people who understand market, people who understand finance, people who understand human resources development, etc., etc. Fourth, entrepreneurship is all about deferred gratification. It means it is a lot of hard work and sacrifice today with the hope that tomorrow will be better. Tomorrow will bring a lot of fortune. So therefore, it requires these people who come together with mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive skills, expertise and experience to have an enduring value system. I think if you satisfy these, then venture capitalists will give you money. This is what you need to have.
Thank you so much, sir.
Electrical engineering, AAA. My question is, can you please justify anti-nuclear power and can you just give us some good comments over it? So it will be very useful for us, my friends.
Well, I think if, first of all, nuclear power or generation of power through nuclear fuel does not enhance the carbon content in the atmosphere. Just remember. That's very, very important. Second, there is a lot of nuclear material in the world. India does not have, but we are trying to do some work on getting certain forms of nuclear raw materials. There is a lot of nuclear materials in the world which can be used for power. Third, as long as you have taken sufficient precautions, as long as people are very careful, people are diligent, people are disciplined, then nuclear reactors operate. Yes, we have had one, in our lifetime we have had three. In my lifetime, we have had 3 Mile Island in the United States. We have had Chernobyl in Russia. We have had the Japanese recently. But remember that this is a very small percentage. Number 2, Chernobyl was because they did not have proper safeguards. 3 Mile Island again was because of the operator's mistake. And Japanese thing also was one of those things. Compare this with the total number of nuclear power plants that exist and compare it with the kind of accidents that have taken place in thermal power plants. Nobody talks about it, simply accepting the number of people who die in thermal power plants. So therefore, as long as we are disciplined, as long as we follow every procedure very carefully, as long as extra careful, I don't think nuclear power is anything. In fact, you probably know that 80% of power in France is all nuclear. And they have not had any problems at all.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Shruti doing my 3rd year civil engineering at VelTech. My question for you is, what one mistake you have witnessed in an engineer to commit frequently and how to correct it?
Well, first of all, we recruit, till after we recruit 25,000 engineers. It's a lot. So, and we have recruited about 200,000 engineers so far. So we have some expertise, some experience. The biggest problem that our engineers have is they are not able to relate the theory that is taught in the class to the real world. I'll give you a very simple example. In 1966, much before you were born, a friend of mine, he was 1 year senior to me in engineering college. He finished his electrical engineering and he joined a company in Bombay as an electrical engineer. First day, his boss took him to the laboratory and said, "Gopal, start the motor." And his hand was going down like this. Boss didn't understand. "Gopal, why don't you start the motor?" So again his hand was going down. Then the boss said, "Gopal, just press the start button." The reason why my friend's hand was going down like this was because those days in our laboratory, in the engineering college, we had a very old form of star data starters. What that means is, before you apply the full 400 volts, that is line to line voltage, you first apply 230 volts, that is phase to neutral, that is smaller voltage, and after a few seconds you apply the full 400 volts. So to do that in the laboratory we had a lever which would press it down, hold it for a few seconds and then press it down. Now this gentleman had not understood that the principle behind why we were doing it. That is, first we are applying phase to neutral, which is 230 volts, and then we were applying phase to phase, full 400. So what we didn't realize was that in the real world, outside in companies, there were modern methods of doing it. Just press a start button. That start button first applied phase to neutral, 230 volts, and after 2 seconds, apply the entire phase to phase. He had learnt it maki kamaki, as we say. So he had not understood the principle. So first thing that our students don't understand is they really don't understand the principle behind what happens. For example, one year we conducted an examination for the so-called computer science Bs that come, BTechs that come from various engineering colleges. We created a very simple test table. Before we decided, we wanted to know what they had learned in the college. This was just 3 years ago. What percentage of students passed the exam? About 35%. What percentage do you think passed? Can anybody here guess? These are students who claim to have learned computer science in their BTech. Only 2%. 2 out of 100 students got 35 out of 100. And nobody got 50 out of 100. In other words, our engineering colleges don't teach our students anything. Maybe some exceptions here and there. I hope your college is one of the exceptions. But most colleges in India don't teach our students anything. Third thing or second thing is the ability of our engineers to speak simple and correct or grammatically correct sentences is just not there. Most of the students that we talk cannot complete a simple sentence correctly, grammatically. So I would say first our students must not look at passing the exam as their end of it. Number 2, they must learn to express their ideas inside.
Sir, I have another question for you.
No, I think you are violating.
A lot of students. Good noon, sir. I am Aravind from ECE department. Sir, what kind of contribution is expected from engineers like us towards the IT industry?
Well, if you know basics of operating system, if you know how an operating system works, if you know how memory is managed, if you know how file systems work, if you know how devices work, if you know what are PNP samples, if you know what is a critical reason, then you will have learned a little. Second, you have to know basics of database management. What is a relational database? What is an index file? Or what is normalization? You know, how do you design a database? What is a transaction? Etc. Then you should know basics of network. Then you should know basics of software engineering. That is, what is cohesion, what is coupling, how do you write, how do you decompose a system. subsystems, etc. You should know basics of software engineering. Then you should know how to write good programs, how to write concurrent programs. So if you know some of these things, then you'll be useful to the industry.
Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Hanumashri doing my AAA second year. I have a question for you. In this modern world, people think that only the students from either in the Department of Computer Science or IT can go into the field of IT. And people like me, unfortunately, we feel for it. Can you suggest some ideas to come out of it so that we get a confidence that even we can go and do better in the field of IT?
No, I don't. I think, as early as 1977, I realized that you do not need a degree in computer science to become a successful software person. Therefore, all that you need to be a successful software person is algorithmic thinking and problem solving capabilities. Therefore, I started recruiting civil engineers, marine engineers, electrical engineers, mechanical engineers, etc. Today at Infosys, we don't find that the so-called computer science fellows know anything. Because I told you, remember, we conducted the test, only 2 out of 100 got 35. These people all claim to have done computer science details. So we don't expect when out of 25,000 people, probably maybe 2,500 of them may have a degree in computer science, but they also don't know anything. Only 1 or 2% of them would be able to pass our test. So rest of them, we look for basic learnability, that is the ability to extract generic inferences out of specific instances and using them in new unstructured situations. Second, we look for algorithmic thinking. As long as they can do that, we train them. We have an 8-month-long training program in our Mysore facility. And we take them through a very tough training program. So I don't think you need to worry at all about the fact that you have not done computers, so-called computer science, because anyway, 99% of so-called computer science degree in India, they don't know anything about computers. So don't worry.
Shall we close? Yeah. Shall we close? Yeah. Thank you.